does offer some touch.
Dear Mr. Bukov, I have been mulling over whether or not to respond in some fashion to the BCAT airing of the J&B on the Rocks program on marijuana, episode number 59, J&B Get Baked. My concern is not that the program dealt with the legalization issue, but the flaunting of our laws over the airways and the teaching of how, when, and where to use marijuana. The producers of the show decided that it was appropriate to use the public airways for real or pretended civil disobedience under the guise of freedom of speech as a way of making a point. Legal or not, the program moved beyond poor judgment and distortions of fact to the overt promotion of anarchy. I have urged local government officials to re-examine the franchise agreement with the cable company TCI and take steps to prevent the abuse of the airways by programs like J&B on the Rocks, now called ROX. I'm sure that you join me in saying that the freedom of expression guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution must be preserved. This is not about muzzling someone because we do not agree with his or her views. It is about assuring the viewing public that local government and publicly funded programs do not encourage people to break our laws, no matter how popular the notion is with some segments of our community. Sincerely, respectfully, and all that shit, Joseph E. Mills, who is the third Joseph E. Mills, third in a series of, I'm sure, very wonderful human beings, who is with the Governor's Commission for a Drug-Free Indiana, Evan Bayh, governor. So this guy accused us of the overt promotion of anarchy. Well, I just have a few things to say about that.
Without breaking some eggs, and that's why the government has gotta bust heads, man. They gotta do what they gotta do. They got a job for the man in blue because things might get out of hand. Oh, with the brave people living in a free land, they might try to liberate. Checkmate. Thank God for the power of the state.
Hello, and welcome to ROX.
This is a locally produced independent cable television program.
Yes, that we make here in Bloomington, Indiana. It's in its 64th incarnation tonight.
Episode 64.
Yeah, the overt promotion of anarchy, which is what we've been accused of by this guy here at the Governor's Commission for Drug-Free Indiana.
Yeah.
And gosh, the word anarchy, that's a real tough one.
Yeah, I think it was meant as an insult.
Yeah,
or
but it's a
some
word
kind of reproach.
It's a word that's overused in our society probably, and misused often, and well, we have a friend who will tell you a little more about that.
Okay, stop. No, don't turn channel. Anarchy simply means lack of leaders, of hierarchy. Anarchists believe that people can get together and form associations and help and live together. They're a little bit like socialists, but they don't believe in government. You won't see an anarchist running for president because they don't believe in leaders. They believe that we can all cooperate and live together.
A lot of us around here don't use the term anarchy too often because what sort of implies is a fixed state of existence, something that you reach. At this point, unfortunately, the word has too much usage in common parlance to mean chaos.
Anarchism is not the same as chaos. If you turn on the radio, they talk about Somalia, they might talk about anarchy reigning in Somalia, but what they really mean is chaos, because anarchy is a lack of leaders, and what they have in Somalia is too many leaders in different factions. So that's chaos, not anarchy.
Government or the state is an artificial and undesirable feature of society, and that society, despite what some scholars would contend, is not identical with the state.
Wow, confused? Well, don't worry. This week's vocabulary word is anarchy. It's derived from the Greek, and literally it means no leaders. And it's come over time to mean lawlessness and chaos. And, well, that's the reason why a lot of anarchists often prefer to use the term anarchism, which is basically the idea that we should maybe trash the government, or just the belief that voluntary cooperation is the best way to get shit done. And in the spirit of getting shit done, let's move along.
Hi, this episode is dedicated to the, what we're talking about in this segment is the critical mass phenomenon that has happened in Bloomington now twice. Not only here, but it's been happening around the United States and Canada. Critical mass is when people with bicycles get together and they take over the streets. I think the origins were more of an environmental distress signal. We need to depend less on cars and more on our muscles, our lungs. The next one that happened was a little less cheerful and a little bit more aggressive.
Oh no, go away. Oh, man. How's it going?
All right, how are you, Chief Sharp?
Pretty good. What's
Good. So you guys are down here for the critical mass, I guess, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. What is the police's perspective on this?
As long as it's legal and not disrupting traffic, then they're free to ride. And once they get in position of disrupting traffic, then we'll take the appropriate action.
Hey, I just came here for critical mass. I heard this might be illegal. I don't know anything about that, though.
It's the fulfillment of the bicyclist's ultimate fantasy, which is, of course, to run all the cars off the road.
Hey, wow, look. Oh my God, it's you.
It's you.
You know, this doesn't have to happen just in big cities, you know, metropolis, megalopolis. It can happen in your own sweet hometown.
Wow.
And look, people are going.
Let's watch the cops freak out.
Hail to the almighty dollar. And it doesn't take a white-collar scholar to follow this. Though I think we all know the people with the dough control the whole show. So go, you're the cream of the crop. Why should you stop? You rise to the top. Let it trickle down to the rest of the nation. Thank God for the fascist corporation.
Anarchy in action. Anarchy in action.
Have you or have you not been warned about the bicycle riding on the streets and blocking traffic? We wouldn't look at something you understand inside the road. Obstruction of traffic, okay? That's what you're going to be cited for, okay? Is it illegal to ride a bike in the road?
You see, all we did was cycle on the road and we get pulled over and we get a citation for nothing, just cycling.
Yeah.
So, you tell me the fairness. And one of my friends there, he was, because he didn't have an ID, he was handcuffed and brought to the station. You call that fair?
The only reason I don't have identification is because I'm wearing a particularly tight pair of jeans. I didn't think it was dumb of me.
Go ahead and have a seat.
What are you arresting this man for?
He is being charged with obstruction of justice, sir.
So what purpose was served by arresting these folks?
Partner, step on the sidewalk, please. Thank you.
Making friends with the press, I see. What'd you think?
It was very exciting. However, the number of people decreased, I think, by half because of the
probably.
Hostilities.
Yeah.
I got hostile.
I think it was a success just because, I mean, it just proves like how hostile people are towards bikers.
Yeah. Got them run off now, huh?
So for example, there's this big misunderstanding about things like critical mass, where critical mass is called anarchy. But in fact, it's just a kind of chaotic event occurring within a statist system. So, there's nothing very anarchistic about that.
For what? You never said I was under arrest, sir. I'm telling you, you never said I was under arrest. You never said I was under arrest, sir.
Yes, it is.
Sir, you never said. You are under arrest, sir.
You're under arrest.
Now you say I'm under arrest.
God damn it! Get off him! What the hell are you doing? Hey! Get off him! Stop! You fucking bastard! What the hell did he do? Get off him! Get off him! What the fuck did he do? No, God, you fucking bastard!
Sir, is it okay for me to... Sir, can I go ahead and ride my bike now? I need an officer.
That's it, you fucking taking someone who's just doing his voice, man.
Roll over on your butt. Stand up.
Police brutality sucks!
Can I ride my bike now? I won't get beat up? Okay, thank you.
You're making some real friends around here, real friends.
God bless America! Have a seat, sir.
So the HT ran this article, Bicyclists' Tactics Rile Police. Of course, it could have just as easily said, Police's tactics rile bicyclists. But, there's a pro-police bias to this newspaper. If you haven't caught that since living in this town, you need to go back 3 squares and turn in $4 of your play money.
Cars are bad, bicycles are good. And that's all there is to it. So, people who go out and do something like critical mass, yeah, they should be rewarded.
There was no real attempt that I saw on the part of the majority or even a minority of the bicyclists to try to get a point across. There were no signs. There was very little hand billing to motorists. It was just, let's block the road and cause problems for people trying to drive home.
I don't think that the changes that need to be made in our mentality are going to occur through peaceful protests and peaceful dialogue.
The bicyclists were assholes. The cops were assholes. And the motorists were assholes. Everybody was assholes. I was even an asshole for a few minutes. Of course, we all know how rarely that happens.
Yeah, but sometimes you have to be an asshole. You have to go to an extreme in order to have any kind of an effect at all. That is the credo by which I've lived my life, and it has served me well. And,
yeah, the Governor's Commission for a Drug-Free Indiana sure loves you.
Yeah, well, they accused me here of the overt promotion of anarchy. And let me tell you, that gets me a lot of cool points with the kids.
We now dispense with any pretense of rhyme or reason to bring you this celebration of the season.
Pumpkins are coming. Pumpkins are coming.
Down home in Indiana, do-do-do-do-do.
We're going to be carving up some pumpkins. I'm glad you're there, so stay tuned.
This is actually the overt promotion of anarchy with pumpkins.
The overt promotion of anarchy. I have urged... What the fuck?
Anarchy.
ROX. What is that talking about?
Anarchy? We're pumpkin.
Yeah.
We're akin to the pum.
On this side, you think, my God, it's perfect, but you turn around and you find the filth within.
Oh my God.
Get that thing off me.
I picked this one not to carve, but I picked this one
to love
from the orchard because it was so ribbed for her pleasure.
Got your pumpkin?
Sure do.
How'd you select that?
It was the prettiest one there. Tiny, round. Some of these don't look like pumpkins to me. I'm not sure they are.
For no apparent reason.
Yeah!
Yeah! That fucking bitch!
This is a down-home Indiana Hoosier pumpkin carving party.
What a melon this man has.
He's helping me die!
I want to eat it.
You came at just the right moment.
Why's that?
Well, as you can see, my revolutionary pumpkin carving technique is about to come to its fruition.
Oh my God. Oh my God! Oh, you've decided to deface the
to go for it.
The poor little vegetable.
Uh-huh.
Well, I tell you what, when he came at me with my knife, the first thing I did was go, and then I went,
whoa!
It's got googly eyes!
thank you.
This is the first time I've ever carved a pumpkin, I think.
Yeah, I hope it's going to be successful. I have a hair in it, though.
Goop.
Oh, wow. That's it. Look, the afterbirth.
Feels good twixt your toes.
This is an Anarchy thing.
Boing.
As you can see, there's not really any way to put a candle in it, but that's the bizarre paradox that is this pumpkin.
Wow, look at that guy.
Yeah, this is a pumpkin face.
We have a corporate pumpkin, a somber corporate pumpkin. You see the glasses of the businessman, his frown, or his nose and his like hopeless frown.
Yeah, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the corporate empire of America and to the elitist oligarchy for which it stands. One nation.
Street. I stay down here now. It's almost time for dinner. Are you hungry? If you're not gonna join me, I'm just gonna eat anyway. I'm sure Charlotte's pretty hungry. I think the cabbage is done.
Do you got any statement against modern society because of the way they make you live today?
I haven't been there for a while. Nobody makes me do this. Me and Charlotte like it here. This is the quiet place. It's quiet here. Are you hungry? This is the cabbage, and it's very good. Right. I'll show you that it's delicious, and you'll see that it's just savory.
Oh, jeez.
It breaks your mouth some, because it's organic.
Hey, it's Indiana limestone, ain't it?
That's cabbage. That's cabbage right there. Finger looking good, though. It's almost time for us to go to our private space, but I've got something for you before you go.
You want to give me your girl?
No, no. Charlotte's my friend.
Hey, broken scissors. Broken scissors. Thanks, man.
I just had those. I just had them. Have a good day.
See you, Charlotte. Uh-huh.
I'll show you everything that I did today. I don't care if you hear what I say. I wasn't talking to you anyway. Anarchy! Diarrhea! Anarchy! Diarrhea!
So since I've been accused of being guilty of the overt promotion of anarchy, I thought I'd just mix a drink in honor of one of the more famous anarchist philosophers in history, Prince Kropotkin. So we're going to mix a Prince Kropotkin's pumpkin cup. See, we've got something to mix this drink in right here. Hot cinnamon flavored schnapps. Pour about 2 ounces of that in here. This drink, of course, mixes red and black, this being cinnamon schnapps, and black coffee, which you want to add maybe 4 ounces in here.
Black, of course, for anarchy, red for communism, as in anarcho-communism, which is what Kropotkin was a primary exponent of, and which, of course, we all believe in as well, as exemplified by our black and red shirts. The overt promotion of anarchy, remember?
The last thing you want to add is some sweetness, some grenadine. Just add about 1.5 ounces to this fine brew that we've made here. I'm trying to get this thing to fit.
Oh, God. It's almost like your sexual life.
Yeah.
Up and down.
Up and down, yeah. Makes kind of a mess, but then, he kind of made a mess. Prince Kropotkin did. He kind of stirred things up, shook things up in Europe. Back then. So a toast to Prince Kropotkin, because he had power, he had prestige, and he gave it up for his principles.
Yummy.
And when your pumpkin is empty, remember, compost. As any good anarchist knows, or environmentalist.
The following segment is presented for informational purposes only. The depicted activity appears to be illegal, and of course you should never ever do anything illegal, so don't try it.
Okay, what we have here is a Radio Shack 33 memory pocket tone dialer, which you can get from your technology store for about $25. And with one of these little devices and a very cheap little component, from which I ordered by mail order, you can convert this into what's a very useful, very popular, and highly illegal device called a red box. And we're going to show you how to put one together, like right now. First thing you got to do is take the screws off the back. This here is the part that you want to replace. It's a little metal can that says 3.579. Okay, out with the old and in with the new. Now there are other crystals that you can use for this. 6.49 is the exact crystal that you need for this. We use a 6.5 because it's still within tolerance and it's easier to find. 6.5536 megahertz is another. It's probably the easiest to find, but it probably won't work on some phones. Hit store, hit memory, enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now that we got our red box assembled here, we're going to use this to actually make a call. Dial 1 plus your number, and as soon as it asks for money, then you beep your tones into it. $2.40, please. How's it going? Yeah, it looks like you're plugged in. We got you plugged live and direct into public access TV. Have you got any choice words for the city of Bloomington?
Let's see. Any choice words for the city of Bloomington?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Just get rid of Sharp count.
That'll do it. Yeah, he says we should. Yeah, he says we should get rid of Steve Sharp.
Yeah, unfortunately we really can't impeach him because nobody fucking elected him to begin with.
And basically, the one thing to remember is that technology is our friend, and thank you for using AT&T.
Well, it seems that brings us to the end of yet another episode
of ROX.
Yeah,
ROX.
episode 64, in fact.
Yeah, the overt promotion of anarchy, as accused of by these people, the Governor's Commission for a Drug-Free Indiana. You know, I think they should rename it the Governor's Commission for a Free Drug Indiana.
Thank you to the Governor's Commission for Drug-Free Indiana for calling me an anarchist. Now I have legitimacy. Now I have battle scars. I can actually say that I've been called an anarchist by the man himself. And, you know, I think that, once again, that earns me a lot of cool points with the kids.
Anarchy is more of a principle to live by than an actual, you know, way to organize an entire society. It's a tendency, not some kind of realistic goal. And I guess I agree with that. Maybe. Yes.
And speaking of letters, like this letter from the Governor's Commission, before we leave, before we say goodbye, we'd like to share with you a special letter that was written in by one of our viewers.
This is from Jim and Monty. It's got this funny picture on the outside. They've kind of adjusted the return address on this. We just saw rerun number 47. Jim wants to know why you don't smoke more on the show. I think it's because you could probably get in some deep shit doing that. Can you imagine Don Rickles and Bob Newhart hanging out together? God damn, that would be crazy. We have noticed this summer that people also send things with their letters. Enclosed is something we found in our sink. The brown stuff on the bowl was born in our sink. Wow, neat. A Polaroid of the stuff that is. You should do a show on fungus, actually. That could have possibilities. So hopefully the address is correct, the address that they sent it to, which was correct. It's the address on the screen, actually. Later, Jim and Monty. Yeah, I guess we'll have to do a show on fungus someday, but we're done with this one, so we can't do it tonight. So tune in later for that, Jim and Monty.
Get off your asses, take off your rose-colored glasses. And if you're ready for a radical statement, compare welfare to the tax abatement. One for the poor, one for the rich. For what's the reason that you never bitch about the CEO sucking on the government tit? Oh, but I don't understand it. How could I? It's too deep. I'm just one of the stupid sheep.
I think it's getting to be more and more and more and more and more and more and more. The same.
So that's a bag full of Spanish moss, huh?
It's a bag full of Spanish moss, yeah.
That's Spanish moss, all right.
That's Spanish moss, yeah.
No, fuck you, man. You talk to the cop. No, fuck you left, motherfucker. Man, that's my fucking car. You didn't fucking hit it. They said you fucking stopped.
I didn't stop.
You got shit to say to me, man. The man is coming. You talk to him. That's bullshit, though, man. You're gonna pay for that motherfucker, man.
I will. My insurance will take care of it. For Christ's sake, you fucking neighbor.
Thank you.